I don't really understand these girls no more. I don't really understand these girls no more. Hey, I don't really understand these girls no more. Yo, I don't really understand these girls no more. When I'm texting your phone, I don't really understand these girls no more. When I'm coming through, I don't really understand these girls no more. No need to be disrespectful, but I don't really understand these girls no more. No more. Whoa. Hold up, baby, wait. Let me show and prove how we do flexing. Ooh. I just don't understand.
Here we are once again, episode 4 on season 3 of the Mike Cooks podcast. First off, I just want to drop a little plug in. For those who've been watching the first 3 episodes of season 3, Big Maury has recently opened up a blog of its own. Sporadic Thoughts, Random Thinking. Right now he's at the infant stages of it, but it's turning out pretty good. You know, he pretty much does random discussions on what's on his mind and such. I'll be sure to post that down on the description in the drop down box under the YouTube expression. So, that being said, how's everybody doing? Based on that awkward silence, I hope everybody's saying they did all right. And if you most likely answered this question, me asking, then you're most likely doing it in the privacy of your car, your bedroom, or on the toilet, and that's cool. Tonight's episode has to do with kind of a rebuttal of season 1. Season 1, I answered a question a lot of people ask. What started in terms of me liking Asian women? What planted the seeds? And of course everyone had a good laugh when I said Connie Chung. For the record, I was actually serious about that. It was Connie Chung. And to this day, I still can't stand Maury Povich because of it. So now, I guess due to the events that occurred before leaving to Virginia exactly 1 year ago, up until now, people always wanted to know what caused me to start liking Latin women. It's a pretty simple answer. When I was in elementary school, growing up, I was friends with this one guy whose name I'm not going to mention because, honestly, I don't care for the guy because he was always known for having a big mouth. But I was in love with his mom. Now, I'm sure many people would say, did he have sisters? Yeah, he had 2, and both of them were beautiful. Especially his not oldest, but next older sister. She was like the perfect woman. But there was something about her mom I was more attracted to. And they were El Salvadorian. So because of that, as a kid, I couldn't help but, to this day, even when I came down to visit, you know, I had to make sure I had my hug and everything. You know, that's going to always be my first Latina crush. Matter of fact, I remember one time, Mom and Dad celebrate Valentine's Day, and Dad got her roses. So I snuck and took one from the vase, walked across the street, knocked on the door just to give it to her. The daughter thought it was for her. I was like, no, this is actually for your mom. And she looked at me like, so that was kind of one of those moments of being an idiot. I was an idiot. But also tonight there'll be different stories and different scenarios based on Latin women that I'm either still attracted to or that I've been attracted to. But due to the nature of this podcast, as always, I never mention names. I mention code names based on that memory. So, first one I'm going to go with is, I think the one that pretty much started it all. I have to go with code name. She's a mom, but of a student at the school I worked at. It's a long code name, but it works. This was not too long, about maybe 5 months deep after my breakup. And I remember at one of the school's assemblies that was going on. I guess they were doing like honor roll and all that. And one of the students mentioned about her mom, how beautiful she was. And I was like, stop playing. Because you know me, I'll approach a mom if she's beautiful. And, you know, of course she mentioned her mom's Mexican and all that. And she told me what most likely, simple stuff of how she looked. So that day at the assembly, I saw this beautiful woman in this like blue outfit, and I was like falling in love again. And it was one of those things where I had to approach her. I had to say hi to her. But I didn't get to that day. So what happened was later on, they did a Thanksgiving lunch or whatever. And, you know, I had one of the kids who's pretty much my daughter. Well, she is my daughter. But I had her play wingman. And I ended up finally talking to her, told her who I was, told her I wanted to say hi to her, tell her how beautiful she was, which I did. And I kid you not, I don't know how I pulled that off with a straight face. You know, I couldn't tell you how. But after Thanksgiving break, I came back, and her daughter gave me her mom's number. So I started contacting her. And then we went on, you know, numerous dates, which at least I thought they were dates because we were always going out to dinner. We had coffee together on Valentine's Day, stuff like that. But due to unfortunate events, I left to go to Virginia. But what made it hard was because I was trying to grow something with her, because I was falling in love with her. And I even told her the text message I left the day before I left to go up to Virginia. I told her, look, there's no telling what can happen between me and you. And I told her how I felt. But I remember the last thing I mentioned at the message was, I'm going to be more developed, more stronger, and, you know, make more. That way I can provide you, your children, a house, a better life. I wanted to be the man that she wanted, the man that she needed. And that was like my goal since moving up here. That was pretty much my original goal when I moved up to Virginia. I was going to be a better man, not just for me, but for her. I wanted to be the man that she finally deserved. So as time passed, we had like a small mishap on the phone. We stopped talking. That's when I had the big car wreck that happened. And I remember one night I was high as all can be off of pain medicine. And I see my phone's ringing, and I didn't know whose number it was because I didn't have my glasses on. And I answered, and it was her. So it was one of those things I thought that was meant to happen. I'll never know. And then that's when I started having those feelings all over again from the beginning. And when I ended up, you know, getting better and was working hard again, there was one night I was in Crystal City, and I sent like this 2-page long text message of how I felt about her. And her response is, we'll see. but I'm not sure yet because I have children. And I said, it's no problem. I said, I'm just letting you know I'll wait for you. And she said, okay. Not even a week later, I see on her Facebook page, she's in a relationship. And it was with some guy, and I'm like, damn. At the time, I was angry. I was mad at the world. And I was feeling, very, very upbeat about it. But at the same time, I can understand because I'm in Virginia. She's in South Carolina. As much as I wanted it to work, it would never work. And even if it could have worked, it still wouldn't work for the simple fact that I'm not the type of man that she wants. Let's face it, she won't admit it, but she probably the type that wants a built, muscled, chocolate man. And I'm just a thick-built pecan tan. But it's all good. Which leads on to the next one. Now I know I'm going to get a lot of flack about this because a lot of co-workers and even the person themselves know who I'm talking about. So I'm going to call her code name. It's a drink. That's her name. One night I went to this place in Springfield called 1320 Club, and there was this chick who I saw, and I thought she was Asian, to be honest. Come to find out, she was a complete and total bitch to me. She was like rude and mean as hell. So when I got to know her, come to find out she was El Salvadorian, and we started out hanging out as friends, getting to know each other, And I told her about my situation in South Carolina, and pretty much, maybe it's because we had a bunch of drinks, but her response is, don't put work into someone who won't even recognize the work that you put in. And then I had like another drink of my Corona and was like, you know what, you right as a motherfucker. And that one's been an interesting chase. There was one time that we broke it off. Because even though we're not in a relationship, stuff was going on where you might as well call it a relationship. Because I started falling in love with this woman. And I was like, this woman I want to be with so bad. And this time I waited. I wasn't going to have my feelings controlled. This time I was like, okay, let's see where this goes. And I ended up having legit feelings. But then when we broke it off, at first I looked at my homeboy Brian like, man, fuck this, I'm good, man. Let's party, man. Fuck it, I don't care no more, I don't care. All women are the same. I got goals in life, no morals, and all that hogwash that I be saying whenever I'm all hyped up, And I remember going to Washington, D.C. and, partying my butt off with Brian because there was a group of women that thought we were bouncers. And it made me forget for those few hours. But that wound was still very, very fresh. So for a couple of weeks, I didn't get to hear from her. Her birthday was the day before Valentine's Day. I had a gift for her. I just didn't, I didn't know how to contact her because when we had a big argument, she blocked my phone, I blocked her number. We blocked each other on Facebook. We did not care because we were that mad at each other. But then there was one night, one of my best friends, Tim Sutton, came to visit because at the time I was, I couldn't make it to his actual bachelor party. So we did one, me, him, and another homeboy from the zoo crew, Brian. We ended up going down to DC. You know, we indulged on some great things, drinks and whatnot. And I strictly mean and whatnot. And next thing you know, place we went to, I saw her car and I recognized it right off the bat. I said, fuck no, I'm not going in there, man. She hates me. I'm not going. And when I walked in there, she saw me, and it was like, as soon as she turned around, I might as well have been the Undertaker, and someone could have hit a gong, because she had the same reaction that wrestlers had. And we talked, and I told her, I said, look, you hurt me. And she had this look on her face like, I didn't know if she was getting ready to cry or get ready to fall asleep. But her eyes like got real glassy eyed, like, you know. But I knew it was sheer coincidence when the next day I was in Crystal City hanging out in the daytime, and what happens? I ended up seeing her. So I'm like, okay, this has got to be one of those things that was meant to happen. I don't know what the future's going to bring. But, you know, I'm not getting any younger. So, you know me. If I feel like time's wasted, I move forward. Which brings me back to code name, I'm a mom, but I'm a hot mom. After that happened, I remember her birthday was the day after New Year's Day. And I remember she came up to visit her family in Quantico. And she came up and visited me. And when she came to the apartment, it was like those same feelings hit all over again. But at the same time, while we were talking during dinner, that spark wasn't there anymore. And while I was eating, the longer I was eating dinner, the more I was like inside feeling nothing but disappointment. Maybe because I thought I found something better. You know. And in terms, speaking of finding better, this brings me to the next segment of another Latin woman that I like. Code name, Radio Shack. There was one night I was leaving T-Mobile to get my phone checked out because I had to get a separate line. Next thing you know it, I see this hot looking woman with a golden Mercedes-Benz approach my window, and her car needed a jump. So I'm like, sure, I'll give it a jump, no problem. And the rest was history on that one. Started talking, she asked for my number. We've, been in contact since. But that's another one, I don't know where that one's going. So it's like a huge question mark. What am I going to do? I think in terms of that, when I asked, she said, no time soon. So then my next question should have been, how soon is now? Instead of the usual, well, I'll wait. But come on now, let's face it. She's beautiful. She's half Nicaraguan, half Japanese. She's got options. I'm sure there's tons of guys that would slap their mom just to get with her, So I get it. I understand that. So it's like, what can a guy do? So I took that for what it was, and, it's one of those things, hey, who knows? But until then, Operation It's a Drink, that's my name. has pretty much been main priority. And like I said, it's a lot of people are going to give me a lot of slack about it, but it is what it is. Speaking of slack, now that I was able to mention my cute little stories of why I like Latin women. Now don't get me wrong, they're celebrities too, but I'll get to that later. But I need to point out someone, Mr. Jose. We were supposed to get this done tonight, but then you ended up telling me about a situation going on, which I understand. Trust me, I understand. But I am going to give you a hard time for it because I'm that guy, Mr. Jose. Leave them hoes alone, Jose. But it's all good. But yeah, I mean, those were the ones that stuck out in my mind the most. Mainly those three, and of course the lady from my childhood. And you know, there was other figures growing up that I had crushes on that were Latin women. Rosie Perez was like the first one because of White Man Can't Jump, and let's face it, anyone who's seen that movie can agree with me. Another one, obviously, Jennifer Lopez. What guy doesn't like J-Lo? If you're a guy right now, you're a straight man, you tell me you don't like J-Lo, not even a little bit, something is not right with you. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, it's just crazy. It's so crazy, and it's so it amazes me when, you know, especially the area I live in right now, my apartment complex, let's be honest, it's about 75% Hispanic, and I'm not complaining either. You know, I enjoy the views every time, so it's all good. It's always never a dull moment in this neighborhood. From the taco truck man to the frozen ice guy to the female selling pupusas. Like, literally, it's never a dull moment. Another reason why I don't regret moving up here. But anywho, this episode is going to be pretty short. Forgive me, guys, but I know I've been backtrack on the schedule, and you might say this episode's a bit dry, but that's only because you guys have been spoiled with the first 3 episodes. That's understandable. I don't give a shit, but it's all good. Episode 5, hopefully. We're all hoping Jose's going to be there. If Jose's not going to be there, I'm going to be clowning on him until he turns 40. So that gives me about under 10 years, obviously. So, this is Mike Cook signing off. Season 3, Episode 4 of the Mike Cook Guys podcast. And once again, as noted earlier, please check out my homeboy, Big Maury, from season episodes 1 through 3. His blog. Once again, sporadic thoughts, random thinking. And the way that he puts expressions into things are so amazing. And also, one more plug-in, once again, t-shirts. A lot of people are getting ready for the summertime. I plan on expanding more with the Mike Cook Guys t-shirt clothing. It's officially been padded, so it's mine, nobody else's. Same with Cartoon Mike. But new t-shirt to be released in the month of April. Look at my dab, don't look at my poofy. And there's also another hidden one too that not everybody gets the inside joke of, but it's all good. But anyways, this is Mike Cook signing off. Thank you, listeners. Continue to listen. Continue to subscribe. Continue to support this dream that I have. And also, this summer, Big Mike and Big Maury on the air. summer podcast. We'll be doing an episode every 2 weeks. So there's no telling how that's going to work out. But of course, it's going to be very fun. Plus, future episodes on the Mike Cook Guys podcast. Jose, get your head out your ass. You're next. Also, either late May or early June, we'll be doing an episode with all members of the crew. The crew meaning hopefully we can get Tim, Steve, Rod Houston, a whole bunch of other guys from that crew back then. But we'll see how that goes. Anywho, Mike Cook signing off.
How you doing? Hey y'all, my name's Carlos, yeah, and I had a trip pretty time. And you know what I'm saying, it was cool. Great trip, great time. Made me think about life, so yes indeed. Let me dedicate this song. Ready? Here we go. Okay. I said that girl tripping on Molly. Bow. I be tripping on Molly. Hey, let's just have some drink. I said, this is my sexy party. My party. Bad bitches in the room, shaking ass like a broom. This is how we do.
Yeah, sound check for this episode. Did you guys really think I was gonna mention all that about Codename It's a Drink? Also her name. No, I'm not going to mention every single thing, just the basics. And I sure wasn't going to go there and mention everything about Radio Shack. And I sure wasn't going to mention what I really think about Codename I'm a Mom but a Hot Mom. So I try to keep everything on a good note. Just a good note. Y'all still fine as hell though. I love my Latin women. Pa que tú lo sepas, mi gentes.